The stars stretched endlessly across the dark sky, glittering like shards of broken glass. From the bridge of the alien cruiser, Zirkale, Admiral Thryn gazed at the tiny blue and green dot spinning far below. It was a planet, no more than a pale jewel in the vast emptiness, yet it held something curious. Life. Not just life, but intelligent life. "Admiral, sensors confirm activity," reported Lieutenant Varrock, his voice steady but tense. "Buildings, communication signals, signs of civilization." Thryn's mandibles clicked in what his species considered amusement. "Primitive life, Varrock," he said, his voice carrying the authority of an empire that had conquered countless worlds. "Still, they are worth observing. Prepare a diplomatic approach. I want them instructed in proper obedience before we proceed further." The humans below lived unaware of the silent ships hovering in orbit. On the planet's surface, a sprawling city glimmered under a sun that warmed the plains and rivers alike. Smoke rose gently from chimneys. Vehicles moved steadily along roads. To the aliens, the human world looked fragile, almost laughably simple. Commander Mara stood on the balcony of the city's tallest building, her eyes scanning the horizon. She had felt a disturbance, something that didn't belong. It wasn't unusual in the remote colony, but a feeling in her gut told her this was different. Her people were safe for now, but she could not shake the sense that change was coming. Inside, the command center screens flickered with incoming data. Scientists were analyzing the strange readings from orbit, unsure what had triggered them. Mara leaned over the console. "Run a full planetary scan," she ordered. "Check for anything unusual, anything at all. I want every sensor on this planet tracking everything." Her chief engineer, Rena, frowned. "Commander, the readings are odd. There's energy in the atmosphere. But it's not from us. Not natural. Could it be ships?" Mara's eyes narrowed. Ships, aliens. The idea seemed almost impossible. Humans had explored the stars, yes, but contact with another civilization had always been theoretical. Now it might not be. "Keep monitoring," she said, "and alert every outpost. If someone's coming, we need to be ready." Above them, the alien fleet moved into position. The cruisers were massive, sleek, and silent. They hung in the atmosphere like predators waiting to strike. Thryn's eyes glinted as he watched the humans bustling below. "They are weak," he mused. "Fragile, like the insects we crushed on countless worlds. They will submit. They always submit." But the humans had a trait the aliens could not measure: resilience. Mara and her team were already preparing. The city had been designed with defense in mind. Tunnels, bunkers, and hidden sensor grids were integrated into the infrastructure. These were not weapons of aggression. They were shields for survival. Yet they gave humans a fighting chance. As the first communication beacon from the aliens activated in orbit, a holographic message appeared over Mara's console. The image was alien and terrifying. Multi-limbed creatures with hard metallic exoskeletons, eyes that seemed to pierce through the soul, and voices like grinding stone. "This is Admiral Thryn of the Zirkale Empire," the figure said. "You, humans, occupy a world that is not yours to claim. Submit to our rule, refuse, and suffer the consequences." Mara felt a shiver run down her spine. She had expected many things from the universe, but arrogance on this scale was new. She studied the message carefully, noticing the confidence, the disdain. These creatures had never faced humans before. They did not know what humans were capable of. She pressed a button and spoke into the microphone. "This is Commander Mara of the colony on Pelora. Your demands are noted. We will not submit. You will find we are resilient." Her voice was calm, measured, but carried a weight that surprised even her. Varrock's sensors aboard the cruiser were scanning the humans' response. He tilted his head. "They are replying?" With defiance, Thryn's mandibles clicked sharply. "Curious. They are not supposed to resist. Prepare for the first demonstration of our power. They will learn quickly." On the ground, the humans began their preparations. Mara organized teams, ensuring civilians were moved to shelters. Engineers worked to reinforce power grids and communications lines. Scouts were dispatched to monitor alien activity from hidden vantage points. Every human on Pelora, from young students to old veterans, had a role. By the time the alien ships made their first move, humans were ready, not with weapons that could match alien firepower, but with strategy, cunning, and courage. The aliens' first display was overwhelming. Orbital strikes targeted open areas and critical infrastructure, their energy beams scorching the surface. Buildings crumbled, and the sky burned with unnatural fire. Yet humans adapted. They used tunnels, underground, shelters, and smoke screens to move unseen. Small, agile vehicles darted between craters carrying supplies and personnel. Drones, simple by alien standards, scouted and relayed information back to the command center. Mara directed every movement with precision, turning every disaster into an opportunity. One strike threatened a water reservoir that fed the city. Mara personally led a team to reroute pumps and prevent catastrophic flooding. The civilians watched as their leaders and soldiers worked tirelessly, showing bravery and determination. For every building destroyed, humans rebuilt. For every strike, they found a new path forward. Thrin watched from orbit, increasingly frustrated. Why are they not surrendering? Why are they clever? He barked orders. Target their leaders. Crush their morale. But the humans refused to be broken. Mara addressed her people through citywide speakers. We are facing a threat unlike anything we imagined. They believe we are weak. They believe we will surrender. But they are wrong. We survive. We endure. We fight, not because we want war, but because we must protect our home and our freedom. The city erupted with renewed energy. Civilians volunteered to support the defense. Engineers, teachers, and farmers all took roles in the effort. They were not soldiers, but their ingenuity became a weapon. Makeshift barricades, clever traps, and unexpected tactics slowed the alien advance. Even the young children contributed, helping with communications, carrying messages, and keeping morale high. Every act of courage mattered. Every small victory built hope. The aliens were learning slowly that humans were unlike any species they had encountered. Thrin's frustration grew. They are adapting too quickly, he hissed. Impossible. No species survives a strike like that. No species, except these humans. Varroc's voice was uneasy. Admiral, their tactics are unpredictable. They improvise. Every strike, we plan. They find a way to counter it. It's unlike anything our records describe. Thrin slammed a clawed hand against the control panel. Prepare the next phase. Increase orbital bombardment. They will learn one way or another that resistance is futile. Below, Mara anticipated the next wave. Using sensors and scouts, she guided her people to strategic positions. Human ingenuity turned the alien advantage against them. Craters from previous strikes became cover for ambushes. Alien targeting systems were confused by smoke, mirrors, and decoys. Each attack, intended to terrify, became an opportunity for humans to fight back in clever, unexpected ways. By the end of the day, the aliens had inflicted damage, but not defeat. Mara's people were battered, but they remained standing. And the humans had begun to learn about their new enemy, its strengths, its weaknesses, and most importantly, its arrogance. That night, Mara stood on the balcony again, looking up at the stars. The alien ships glinted like menacing fireflies against the void. She knew the battles ahead would be harder, more dangerous, but she also knew something crucial. Humans survived because they adapted, because they never gave up, because their courage could not be measured by technology alone. Below her, the city buzzed with quiet preparation. Families worked side by side with soldiers. Engineers tested defenses. Scouts reported movements. Every human knew the truth. The aliens had underestimated them, and that would be their greatest mistake. In orbit, Thrin glared at the small, defiant planet. They are persistent, he muttered. Perhaps too persistent. Mara, meanwhile, did not look at the ships with fear. She saw them as a challenge, a test of everything humanity could endure. And humanity had never, not once, backed down from a test. The stars above were endless. The war had only just begun. And one thing was certain: the humans of Pelora would fight. And they would not give up. The sun rose slowly over Pelora, painting the plains with soft gold light. Smoke from the previous day's attacks still lingered in the air, twisting into dark ribbons across the sky. Commander Mara walked among the people, her boots crunching, over cracked concrete, her eyes scanning every corner of the city. Nothing had broken their spirit. Not yet. "Commander," Rena called from the communications hub, her voice carrying both urgency and awe. "We've analyzed the energy signatures from the ships. They're unlike anything we've seen. Their weapons, their shields, they are far stronger than ours, but—" She hesitated, then nodded toward the screen. "We found a weakness." Mara moved closer, leaning over the console. "A weakness?" Rena pointed at a blinking red marker on the display. "Their targeting systems rely on predictable energy patterns. If we can disrupt them, even slightly, we could blind their strikes long enough to counterattack." Mara's eyes glimmered. A smile tugged at the corner of her lips. "Then we have our plan." Above the planet, the alien fleet remained in orbit, massive cruisers poised like predators circling prey. Admiral Thrin's anger had only grown overnight. How can these humans survive? Their planet is small, their technology primitive, yet they resist and they learn. Every strike we launch, they adapt. Varrock, still uneasy, spoke carefully. "Admiral, they are unpredictable. Their response time is fast, and they do things we did not anticipate." Thrin's eyes narrowed. "This is no longer curiosity. They are a threat. Prepare the drones. Send reconnaissance closer. I want to know everything about them." Below, Mara gathered her team. Engineers, pilots, and civilians, all willing participants in a desperate effort, listened intently as she laid out their plan. "They think they can scare us with power," she began, voice steady and commanding. "They are wrong. Their weapons are strong, yes, but they are not invincible. They follow patterns, and patterns can be broken. The humans had no large fleet to challenge the aliens, no massive shields or energy cannons. But they had one thing the aliens could never calculate: creativity and courage." Mara's plan was simple but dangerous. Small strike teams would target key alien supply drones orbiting the planet. Using improvised weapons, electromagnetic pulses, and decoys, they would disrupt the aliens' sensors. Simultaneously, scouts would feed false coordinates to the alien targeting systems, drawing strikes away from human positions. It was a gamble, but it was all they had. As the humans moved into position, the first alien scout drones descended toward the planet. Sleek, metallic, and deadly, they scanned the surface with relentless precision. They were designed to detect even the slightest signs of movement. Yet humans were clever. In a hidden bunker beneath the city, Mara activated the countermeasures. Electromagnetic pulses surged through the air, interfering with the drone's sensors. Nearby, a team released decoy devices, small machines that emitted energy signatures mimicking human activity. Above, the drones twitched, their targeting systems flickering. One drone misread the signals, locking onto a decoy rather than the real target. It fired. The missile exploded harmlessly on an empty field, leaving the humans untouched. Mara's team held their breath, waiting for the next strike. The humans were small, almost invisible, but their actions had a significant effect. Another drone aimed, another misfire. The aliens' frustration began to grow, though they had no way of knowing why. In the city, civilians watched from bunkers and shelters, hearts pounding. Engineers, students, and teachers worked alongside soldiers, relaying messages and coordinating movements. Each small victory, the survival of a building, the safety of a group of children, was celebrated quietly. It was a war, yes, but one fought with brains, not just brute force. A young scout, Eli, peered through a sensor telescope. Commander, they're reacting strangely, he said. They're firing at nothing now, missing targets left and right. It's working, Mara nodded. Good. Keep them distracted. Remember, every second we buy, every misfire, is a chance for us to survive. Stay sharp. Above, Admiral Thrin's claws clenched in frustration. Impossible. No species survives repeated strikes and counters like this. Varroc's voice trembled. Admiral, they are learning. They are using their environment, their tactics. They are adapting faster than expected. Thrin's mandibles clicked sharply. Then they will learn the hard way. Prepare for orbital bombardment. Target their cities directly. But even as the aliens prepared their next wave, humans had already anticipated it. Mara had studied the aliens' weapons patterns, noting their precise timing and trajectory. Using tunnels and underground shelters, humans moved equipment, personnel, and supplies out of danger. They created fake signals to lure the attacks into empty areas. When the bombardment came, massive energy beams struck the city, but almost everything that mattered was out of harm's way. Craters appeared in open fields, smoke filled the air, but human lives and critical infrastructure remained intact. Mara watched from the command center, heart pounding. She knew the aliens would not expect this level of coordination. They think they can destroy us, she whispered, but they don't understand who we are. The first counterattack came as the aliens regrouped. Humans launched small, agile ships equipped with EMP devices. They struck at the alien drones, causing confusion and forcing the aliens to divert resources to defend their own fleet. Each strike was precise, targeting weaknesses Rena had identified. The aliens were caught off guard. Their ships, built for power and intimidation, were ill-prepared for humans who thought differently, fought differently. The humans did not try to match raw strength with raw strength. They used cunning, speed, and unpredictability. In orbit, a drone collided with an energy field, malfunctioning mid-flight. Another lost contact with its command ship, drifting harmlessly into space. The humans celebrated quietly, knowing each small victory counted. In the city below, Mara addressed her people once again. Look at what we've done, she said. They have power, yes, but we have something greater. Our courage, our intelligence, our unity, these are weapons they cannot measure. Every one of you has played a part in this. You are not just survivors, you are defenders of your home, and we will continue to fight. The humans cheered, not because the war was over, but because they had proven they could stand against an enemy that seemed unbeatable. They had survived the first contact and they had struck back. Meanwhile, Admiral Thrin seethed in orbit. They are clever. Too clever. Every strike we make, they adapt. They are not like other species we have conquered. Varroc, uneasy, spoke. Admiral, they are brave, determined, perhaps a threat we underestimated. Thrin's eyes narrowed. No, they are nothing but insects. We will crush them. Next time, we will show them true power. We will show them that resistance is futile. But deep down, a seed of doubt had begun to grow. The aliens who had conquered countless worlds, who had faced opponents with superior technology and resources, had never seen a species fight like this. The humans were different, and the realization, unspoken but undeniable, made Thrin uneasy. As night fell over Pelora, the humans took stock. The city was scarred, but alive. Families reunited, soldiers rested, engineers repaired. Mara walked through the streets, observing the resilience of her people. Even children who had hidden during the bombardment now helped carry supplies or relay messages. This is only the beginning, Mara thought. They will come again, stronger. But we are ready, and we will not back down. The stars above shone quietly, indifferent to the struggles below. Yet in that quiet, a human spirit burned brighter than any alien weapon. Against all odds, they had survived. And in surviving, they had begun to fight back. And somewhere in the void of space, the aliens realized slowly that they were facing something they had never faced before. A species that refused to be broken. Humans. Resilient, clever, brave, and now, dangerous. The city of Pelora was quiet in the early morning, but the calm was deceptive. Commander Mara stood on the balcony of the Central Command Center, her eyes scanning the horizon. The alien fleet had withdrawn to orbit after the first clashes. But she knew it was only temporary. They were regrouping, planning their next assault. And this time it would be stronger, faster, deadlier. Rena approached, holding a datapad. Commander, our sensors picked unusual energy readings in orbit. The aliens are assembling a much larger fleet. They're bringing warships we haven't encountered before. Mara nodded, her expression calm but determined. Then we prepare. They want war? We'll give them resistance. Every advantage we have we will use. Every weakness of theirs we will exploit. Humans survive by adapting, and we will adapt again. The humans had learned from the first encounters. They knew the aliens' strengths, massive firepower, advanced targeting, shields, and relentless discipline. But they had also discovered their weaknesses, predictability, overconfidence, and rigid tactics. The aliens returned at midday. The fleet filled the sky like a swarm of dark stars, their hulls glinting in the sunlight. Thrin's ships moved with precision, forming attack formations designed to overwhelm. Their energy weapons glowed ominously, ready to strike at any sign of movement. Varrock, scanning the battlefield, spoke nervously. Admiral, they are ready. Our sensors show defenses have been reinforced. They have prepared traps, and their countermeasures are active. Thrin's mandibles clicked in irritation. They adapt too quickly. This is unusual. Still, we are stronger. Prepare to fire. Crush their defenses completely. Below, Mara moved among the teams, checking on civilians and soldiers alike. The city's inhabitants were tired but resolute. Engineers were reinforcing structures, scouts were tracking alien ship movements, and communication teams relayed real-time information to strike squads. Every human had a role, and every role mattered. Mara turned to her lieutenants. Remember, we do not fight them like they fight us. We use our strengths, speed, unpredictability, knowledge of the terrain. Every attack, every defense must be clever, not just forceful. Today we fight smarter than the enemy. The battle began with a flash of light as the aliens unleashed a barrage of energy strikes. Buildings shook, streets cracked, and the air, filled with a high-pitched whine of energy beams cutting across the city. Humans took cover, but they moved quickly through pre-planned routes using tunnels and hidden passages to avoid destruction. From above, alien drones scanned the city, seeking signs of resistance. But Mara's teams had created false energy signatures, decoys, mimicking soldiers, vehicles, and command centers. Missiles fired at empty streets, leaving real positions untouched. Every misfire frustrated the aliens, making them overcompensate and expose themselves to human counterattacks. Small teams of humans struck back, using improvised weapons. Modified vehicles launched EMP pulses to disable drones. Teams of scouts dropped energy disruptors from high vantage points, short-circuiting alien targeting arrays. Simple tools, ingenuity, and timing became weapons more powerful than any single human could wield alone. One critical moment occurred when an alien warship targeted the city's main power grid. If destroyed, the city would be plunged into darkness, crippling communications and defenses. Mara led a strike team of engineers and soldiers racing through underground tunnels to reach the grid. Eli, the young scout, guided them using maps no alien could see. Left, there's a collapsed tunnel ahead. Use the bypass. Mara nodded. Move fast. The aliens won't wait for us. They reached the power station just as the warship fired. The beam struck the ground nearby, sending concrete and metal flying. Sparks ignited as the team worked feverishly. Using jury-rigged shields and energy redirection devices, they absorbed the blast and restored the main conduits. The city stayed lit, and the communications network remained intact. Above, the aliens realized something disturbing. They predict our strikes, Varrock said uneasily. They anticipate us. This should be impossible. Thrin's mandibles clicked sharply. Impossible or not, we continue. They will break. They must break. In another sector, Human strike squads ambushed smaller alien ships. Using the knowledge of orbital paths and gravitational anomalies, they lured ships into asteroid fields where the ship's size and rigidity made them vulnerable. One by one, alien ships collided with hidden obstacles or lost maneuverability, forced to retreat. The aliens had power, yes, but the humans had patience, cunning, and unity. Every obstacle they set, every trick they used, slowed the enemy and caused unexpected losses. For the first time, the aliens felt frustration, not just at failure, but at the inability to predict or control their enemy. Meanwhile, Kamamara coordinated a simultaneous psychological strike. Holographic messages were broadcast into alien ships, showing humans moving boldly in the open, repairing damage and surviving strikes. The aliens interpreted this as confidence and fearlessness, a species that did not cower, did not hide. The image of humanity's courage spread fear among the lower-ranked alien commanders, who began doubting the certainty of their victory. The city streets were chaotic, but humans worked together seamlessly. Civilians carried supplies to soldiers. Engineers repaired damaged vehicles and defenses. Medical teams attended to the wounded without pause. Even children contributed, delivering messages and alerting teams to incoming danger. Every action, no matter how small, became part of the larger fight. Mara observed it all and smiled faintly. They think they can win with technology. But we have something stronger, the human spirit. They will learn, if they survive, that humans cannot be crushed so easily. The aliens responded with a massive assault fleet, launching hundreds of energy beams simultaneously. The city shook violently under the bombardment. Explosions rocked buildings, fires broke out, and the air shimmered with heat. Many humans had to flee underground, but the coordination remained. Each sector of the city had a leader ensuring minimal casualties and maximum resistance. A young medic, Lyra, ran between shelters, tending to the injured and comforting frightened children. "Stay calm," she said softly, helping a boy bandage a cut on his arm. "We are safe here. We will survive this." Outside, soldiers countered with small vehicles, EMPs, and improvised artillery. They struck at alien drones, forcing them to divert attention from the city. The battle became a dance of strategy, speed, and wit. In orbit, Thryn seethed. His perfect plans crumbled in the face of human ingenuity. "How can they fight like this?" he demanded. "Every strike we plan, they turn against us. This is unacceptable," Varrock answered cautiously. "Admiral, they are clever. Very clever. They use their environment. They exploit our weaknesses. Their resilience is unlike any species we have faced." Thryn's eyes narrowed. "Then we adapt. We bring more firepower. Crush every sector. Show them that no species, no matter how clever, can resist the might of the Zirkale Empire." But the humans had already adapted. Mara's scouts predicted the arrival of reinforcements and set traps accordingly. Mines hidden in tunnels disabled alien landers before they could deploy troops. False energy signals drew heavy ships into unplanned collisions. Every strike the aliens made was met with human anticipation and counteraction. By nightfall, the humans had inflicted surprising losses. Alien ships were destroyed, drones disabled, and soldiers lost. It was a small victory, but significant. For the first time, the aliens experienced defeat at the hands of humans, and it shook them to their core. Mara stood on the balcony once more, watching the city below. Fires burned, smoke rose, but the people were alive. They had survived the greatest test yet and had struck back successfully. Eli ran up to her, breathless. "Commander, we did it. They didn't break us, and we even forced some of their ships to retreat." Mara nodded. "Yes, Eli, and that is only the beginning. Today we survived. Tomorrow we will fight smarter. We will continue to show them that humans are not weak. We are not afraid. And we will never surrender." In orbit, Admiral Thryn stared at the planet. "This is unexpected. These humans, they are something else. Perhaps stronger than we imagined. Varrock hesitated. Admiral, we may have underestimated them. If they continue like this. Thryn cut him off. No, we will not underestimate them again. Prepare the next assault. They will learn, one way or another, that defiance against the Zircale Empire is futile. But in the quiet of the night, as the stars shone above Pelora, the humans celebrated quietly, not for the war won, but for the resilience shown. They had faced overwhelming odds and survived. They had proven that courage, ingenuity, and unity could turn the tide against even the most powerful adversary. The morning sun rose over Pelora, casting long shadows across the city still scarred from the last wave of attacks. Smoke hung faintly in the air, but the human spirit was stronger than ever. Commander Mara stood on the balcony of the command center, surveying the city below. Each street, each building, each citizen had survived because of human determination and cleverness. Commander, Rena called from the communications hub. We've intercepted alien transmissions. They're reorganizing their fleet and planning. A massive strike. But there's something strange. Some of their commanders are questioning strategy. Morale is low, and they seem unsure how to respond to us. Mara's eyes gleamed. Good. Let's make sure they stay unsure. Every doubt they have, every hesitation, is an advantage for us. Humans had learned from their previous encounters. They knew the aliens' strengths and weaknesses. And now, they had something more. Experience, confidence, and a plan to push the advantage further. The aliens returned with a larger fleet than before. Warships blocked the sky, drones scanned the ground relentlessly, and massive energy cannons glowed ominously. Admiral Thryn's voice rang through the fleet. This time, we leave nothing alive. They will learn that resistance is meaningless. Varrock hesitated, glancing at the screens. Admiral, their defenses are not only holding, they're actively counterattacking. Some of our smaller ships have already been disabled before reaching the surface. Thryn's mandibles clicked sharply. Impossible. Prepare to fire everything. They will not survive this assault. Below, Mara gathered her team. They come again, she said, her voice calm but commanding. We've fought them before. We've learned, and this time, we turn the tide. Today, humans do not just survive. We fight back. The first wave of alien strikes hit the city's outskirts. Energy beams cut through the ground, sending debris flying. But humans were ready. Scouts had predicted the landing paths. Civilians were hidden in reinforced shelters, and engineers had rerouted power to critical defense systems. Mara directed the defense from the command center, issuing orders that coordinated every citizen, soldier, and engineer. Team Alpha, deploy decoys at Sector 3. Team Beta, intercept incoming drones near the river. Team Gamma, prepare EMP pulses for the Central Plaza. Timing is everything. Do not waste a second. Humans moved like a well-oiled machine. Though their technology was simpler, their creativity made them unpredictable. Mines were hidden under rubble, traps were set in narrow alleys, and false signals confused alien targeting systems. Every strike by the aliens was met with a clever counter, minimizing casualties and maximizing disruption. A critical moment came when the aliens attempted to disable the city's main communications hub. Without communication, coordination would fail, and chaos would ensue. Mara led a strike team of engineers and soldiers to defend the hub. Eli, the young scout, ran ahead through the tunnels, guiding the team past debris and energy blasts. Left. Now straight. There's a collapsed passage, but the bypass is clear. They reached the hub just as an alien drone fired a massive beam. Using jury-rigged shields and energy redirection devices, they absorbed the blast and protected the systems. Communications remained intact, allowing humans across the city to coordinate effectively. Meanwhile, human strike teams executed daring attacks against alien supply ships in orbit. Using small, agile ships and gravitational anomalies, they disabled drones, forced larger ships to collide with each other, and cut off supply lines. Every victory, though small, weakened the aliens' confidence and forced them to overextend. Mara's strategy was more than survival. It was psychological. They broadcast holographic messages into alien ships, showing humans working boldly in the open, repairing damage, and surviving strikes. The images projected fear, confusion, and doubt among alien ranks. Humans, they realized, were not cowed by power. They thrived under pressure. In the city, civilians were not passive. Engineers, teachers, and students worked side by side with soldiers. Barricades were strengthened, streets cleared of debris, and supplies distributed efficiently. Even children carried messages, guided scouts, or alerted teams to incoming danger. Every act, no matter how small, contributed to the larger fight. A medic, Lyra, treated the injured while reassuring frightened citizens. "We survived together," she said, wrapping bandages on a young boy's arm. "We are stronger than they think. Never forget that." The alien fleet launched a massive orbital strike, hoping to crush resistance in one overwhelming blow. Energy beams cut the air, striking the ground with devastating force. Buildings shook, streets cracked, and fires erupted. But humans had anticipated the attack. Hidden tunnels, reinforced shelters, and decoys ensured minimal casualties. When alien troops attempted to land, strike squads ambushed them using traps, mines, and improvised explosives. Small human ships darted between alien vessels, disabling drones and causing confusion. Even against overwhelming firepower, humans found ways to fight back, turning every disadvantage into an opportunity. Above comma, Admiral Thrin seethed in orbit. They adapt faster than expected. They anticipate our every move. This is unacceptable, Varrock, cautious, replied. Admiral, they are strategic. Their unity is exceptional, and they exploit every weakness we have. Perhaps we underestimated them. Thrin's eyes narrowed. Underestimated? No. They will break. We will show them power. Prepare for total annihilation. But below, Mara and her people were ready. They had studied the alien fleet, mapped their patterns, and created traps that forced them into mistakes. Every move the aliens made was countered with human ingenuity. The turning point came when humans managed to disable a critical alien command drone in orbit. Using a combination of EMP pulses and gravitational traps, the drone lost control and crashed into the fleet. Chaos spread as alien ships collided or failed to coordinate properly. Mara smiled as she watched the reports. They are confused. Hesitation is our advantage. Push them, keep attacking, but wisely. We are not just defending. We are taking control of this fight. The humans moved decisively. Orbital strikes were disrupted, ground forces repelled, and supply lines severed. Each small victory built confidence, morale, and the momentum necessary to turn the tide of battle. Civilians joined the effort in unprecedented ways. Engineers repaired damaged equipment, students operated sensor grids, and farmers helped move supplies. Every citizen became a part of the defense, proving that the human spirit was a weapon the aliens could not anticipate. Mara addressed the city's defenders through the command system. Look at what we have accomplished. They believed they could crush us, but they were wrong. We are not weak. We are not afraid. And we will continue to fight until they understand one undeniable truth. Humans cannot be defeated. The aliens, for the first time, felt fear. Their overconfidence had been shattered. Losses, unexpected attacks, and the unpredictable ingenuity of humans had forced them to reconsider their assumptions. Thrin's pride had been wounded, and uncertainty had crept into the ranks of his commanders. Varrock spoke softly, almost reluctantly. Admiral, if they continue like this, they could win. They are not like any species we have encountered. Thrin's mandibles clicked sharply, masking his unease. Then we adapt. Next time we will strike with precision and power they cannot counter. But we will not underestimate them again. Night fell over Pelora. Fires burned in the distance, but the city was alive. Families reunited, soldiers rested, and engineers repaired critical infrastructure. Mara walked among the streets, observing the resilience of her people. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, humans had survived and thrived. Eli ran up to her, breathless. Commander, we did it. We forced them to retreat. We held the city. We actually won. Mara nodded, placing a hand on his shoulder. Yes, Eli, we survived. And more than that, we showed them that humans are clever, resourceful, and brave. But this is only the beginning. They will return, and when they do, we will be ready. Not just to survive, but to continue turning the tide in our favor. Above Pelora, Thryn stared at the planet, fury and disbelief in his eyes. This is unacceptable. These humans, they are stronger than we imagined, stronger than any species should be. Varrock hesitated. Admiral, perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps we cannot predict them fully. Thryn slammed a claw against the console. No, we will not allow this. We will strike again. But this time, we will be careful. We will learn, and we will crush them. In the quiet of the night, the people of Pelora celebrated not for the destruction of their enemy, but for the survival, unity, and courage they had shown. They had turned the tide of battle, proven the strength of human ingenuity, and shown that no weapon, no matter how powerful, could break the human spirit. And somewhere in the void of space, the alien fleet realized a terrifying truth. The humans were no ordinary species. They were clever, resilient, brave, and now, a force that could not be ignored. Humans. Unpredictable, tenacious, brave, and for the first time, dangerous. The first light of dawn touched the city of Pelora, casting long shadows over streets that bore the scars of war. Commander Mara stood on the balcony of the command center, overlooking the city. The humans had survived the alien assaults, adapted to impossible odds, and turned the tide of battle. But today would be different. Today they would fight not just to survive, but to win. Rena approached, holding a data pad that displayed alien fleet movements. Commander, our sensors confirm they are preparing a full-scale assault. More ships, more drones, more firepower than ever before. They intend to obliterate the city and force complete surrender. Mara's eyes narrowed. Then we make this their last strike. Prepare all units. Every human who can fight will fight. Every strategy we have learned we will use. We are not just defending our home. We are taking control of this war. The alien fleet hung over Pelora like a dark storm. Energy weapons glowed across the hulls of massive ships. From orbit, Admiral Thryn spoke to his commanders. Today we finish this. Leave no building standing, no human alive. Their defiance ends now. Varrock's sensors detected unusual activity on the planet below. Admiral, they are not hiding. Humans are moving openly. It seems they intend to fight us directly. Thryn's mandibles clicked in irritation. Foolish creatures. Let them die. But humans had prepared differently. Mara had studied every alien tactic, every pattern of attack, and devised a plan that used ingenuity, strategy, and courage to its fullest. The first wave of alien strikes targeted the city's outskirts, as expected. Energy beams tore through buildings and the ground shook violently, but humans moved swiftly through tunnels, underground passages, and hidden corridors. Civilians were safe in reinforced shelters, while strike teams took positions to intercept. Incoming alien troops. Mara addressed the teams via citywide communication. Remember, we fight smarter, not stronger. Draw them into traps, exploit their overconfidence, and strike at their weaknesses. Today we are not just survivors. We are humanity at its best. Strike teams deployed across the city. Small, agile vehicles with EMP devices disabled alien drones before they could land. Mines and traps hidden in streets and alleys destroyed landing pods. Scouts used sensor grids to predict alien movements, guiding human forces into optimal positions. Every step, every decision was calculated, every human playing a vital role. Even children contributed. Some carried messages, relayed sensor readings, or alerted teams to alien positions. Civilians assisted engineers in repairing equipment and creating decoys. Each act of courage amplified the human advantage. Above Pelora, the alien fleet grew, frustrated. Ships collided due to disrupted communication, drones malfunctioned, and supply lines were severed. Thrin's confidence began to waver. Why are they not breaking? This should be impossible. Varrock spoke quietly. Admiral, they are not like other species. They fight with unity, intelligence, and courage. Perhaps we underestimated them. Thrin snapped. No, they will break. Prepare for orbital bombardment. Use every weapon, every ship. Crush them completely. But humans had anticipated the bombardment. Mara's team had planted energy absorbers, diversion decoys, and underground shields. When the alien weapons fired, most of the energy was deflected or absorbed. Damage occurred, yes, but humans remained operational. Mara's strike teams moved with precision, ambushing alien troops as they landed. Drones were disabled, soldiers trapped in narrow alleys and supply lines destroyed. Every move slowed the aliens, forcing them to waste resources and overextend. The turning point came when human engineers hacked into an alien command drone using a combination of electromagnetic pulses and improvisation. The drone malfunctioned, sending false orders that caused confusion across the alien fleet. Ships fired at each other, drones collided, and communication between commanders faltered. Mara smiled. Now, push them back. Human forces moved decisively. Orbital strikes were disrupted, alien troops were trapped, and their morale crumbled. Civilians joined in, helping carry supplies, relay messages, and even man defensive equipment. Every human, regardless of age or training, became a part of the fight. In orbit, Thrin watched in disbelief. Impossible. They are too clever. They adapt to every tactic, anticipate every strike. They are not like anything we have faced before. Varrock's voice was hesitant. Admiral, perhaps they cannot be defeated. Thrin's claws slammed against the control panel. No, we are the Zirkael Empire. We cannot fail. But, below, Mara's forces had turned the battlefield in their favor. Alien ships began retreating after losing too many drones and soldiers. Ground forces were trapped or destroyed. Humans had not only defended their city, they had inflicted a decisive defeat. The final assault took place in the central plaza of the city. Mara led her forces personally, coordinating attacks from the front lines. Drones swooped overhead only to be disabled by EMP pulses. Alien troops charged, but were funneled into narrow alleys where mines and traps awaited. Every movement was anticipated, every weakness exploited. Civilians cheered from safe zones as human soldiers pushed the aliens back. Engineers and students fired makeshift weapons, proving that courage and ingenuity could overcome even the most advanced technology. At the peak of the battle, Mara addressed the aliens directly via a holographic broadcast. Admiral Thrin, your empire underestimated us. We are humans. We are clever, resourceful, and brave. You cannot crush our spirit, and you will not rule this world. Leave now, and live to remember this lesson. The message spread across the alien fleet, sowing fear and confusion. The humans were not just fighting, they were sending a message. Resistance against humanity was futile, not because of technology, but because of spirit. The aliens made one final attempt to attack, but it was too late. Human forces had anticipated every move, countered every strike, and trapped the alien troops. Ships retreated, drones malfunctioned, and the remaining forces fled into the void of space. The humans of Pelora had won. Mara stood in the central plaza, surrounded by exhausted but triumphant citizens. Smoke rose from the battlefield, but the people were alive, united, and victorious. Children ran through the streets, soldiers cheered, and engineers celebrated small victories of repair and survival. Eli ran up to Mara, smiling broadly. Commander, we did it. We actually won. They're leaving. Mara placed a hand on his shoulder, her eyes scanning the horizon. Yes, Eli. Today we proved something greater than weapons or technology. We proved that humans are resilient, clever, and brave. We survived, and we won. And the universe will remember Pelora. Above, Admiral Thrin's fleet limped away, humiliated and defeated. Impossible. How can they survive and win? He muttered, his pride shattered. Varrock sighed. Admiral, they are not like other species. Perhaps we underestimated them. Thryn did not answer. He stared at the stars, realizing for the first time that humans were more than they had believed. Stronger, cleverer, and unbreakable in spirit. Back on Pelora, the people began rebuilding. Homes, schools, and hospitals were repaired. Families reunited and the wounded were cared for. Mara walked through the city, greeting civilians and soldiers alike. Every face she saw reflected courage, hope, and determination. This is only the beginning, she thought. The universe may still challenge us, but today we proved that humans cannot be defeated. We fight not because we are the strongest, but because we are clever, united, and brave, and that is power the galaxy cannot ignore. In the quiet of night, the stars shone above Pelora. The humans had faced overwhelming odds, survived impossible attacks, and emerged victorious. They had turned the tide of war through courage, ingenuity, and unity. The aliens would return someday, Thryn no doubt thought. But they would remember Pelora and its people. They would remember that humans were not weak, not predictable, not conquerable. Humans. Resourceful, brave, resilient, and now, undeniably victorious. The city slept peacefully under the stars. For the first time in days, there was quiet. Mara stood on the balcony, gazing at the horizon. She knew challenges would come again, but for now, humanity had won. They had survived, adapted, and triumphed. The universe had underestimated humans. It would not make that mistake again.